And we are live, baby. Let me give everybody a second. We live on Facebook, we live on YouTube, and we live on IG. Let's let IG come up real quick. Yeah, we live, baby. What's going on, you? What's going on, y'all? Give me a second. Give me a second. Want to get everything up and running. Make sure everything rocking right. Got our vocals good. Y'all know how we do. Definitely got to do a visual check. So what's going on, y'all? It is your favorite businessman, CEO Rico, on CEO Rico TV. And today, y'all already know it's Friday, 10 o'clock. Y'all rocking with your boy. We about to get it in. We got a few things that we got to go over. So from last week when we had our previous conversation, we are, like I said, we changing the whole format. Now this week I wanted to actually try something different too. So I wanted to bring y'all into the not the conversations, but I wanted to bring some of the podcasts and just channels that I watch on a daily basis or weekly basis, and I wanted to bring that into the conversation with us today. Now, I have a few different reasons on why. A lot of the times, a lot of the things that I actually watch and partake in, it's extremely relevant to the conversation that we have. But not only that, I honestly feel like bringing that into what we have going on here, it makes for a much more entertaining segment, and they kind of already have like the structures already structured out to where it's kind of like I don't necessarily say just piggybacking, but it's kind of like I could just grab from that and then we could just keep everything flowing. So that's what I want to do. So first and foremost, how was your week? Mine's at the end of the day, it's always up and down, in my world until things, level out. But for the most part, it's pretty smooth. I got my baby in the studio with me. I told her don't get on camera though, because she look a little crazy. My son was supposed to be down here recording with me, but he is asleep. So he might end up popping in the middle of the broadcast, which is all fine and dandy. So the very first topic that I want to actually get into tonight, it is with somebody that I actually watch on like a daily basis. My man's Anton Daniels. I'm a part of his mentor group called the Bag Chasers. I love his content. Everything he talk about for the most part, it's all on point. So what we actually about to get into the politics, right? So let me pull this up real quick. Real quick, my peoples. Bam. Definitely got to share that audio. Bring that into the fold. Let's get it cracking. So it's a lot going on when it comes to Trump, Elon, and dealing with, the Republican Party, Democratic Party. One thing that I definitely want to say is just by paying attention to everything that has been going on when it comes to politics, it seems like the Democrats do a lot of complaining, a lot of being, and because I'm trying my best not to cuss, so just work with me. But they do a lot of being about nothing, and we about to go into it
because they generate some of the most tax revenue inside of the United States of America, if not the most. But they had to then freeze police hirings, cut back on that, cut back on resources that they were given inside of the schools that people paid their property taxes for, and cutting back on sanitation, amongst other things, just so they can house these people in these shelters and these luxury hotels, give them food cards and so on and so forth. But one thing that we don't do, and we neglect it a lot, because the mayors is the faces of the city, but at the same time, the largest city in New York also deserves to extend some of that same responsibility to people like Kathy Hochul. Now, I think that Kathy Hochul, as I deep dive into who she is and the things that she's done, I think that she's absolutely deplorable. One of the, if not the worst governor inside of the United States of America. I can't give it to her. I'll probably give her number 3. She probably take place number 3. All right? Because Gavin Newsom definitely take that mantle. And then J.B. Pritzker is running for a close first, definitely right there in the second place. And then you got their mayors that's doing their biddings in some of these cities. Gavin Newsom has Karen Bass. J.B. Pritzker has Brandon Johnson, who we're going to get to that in a minute. And then Kathy Hochul has Eric Adams. The difference is, I'm going to get some water in a minute. The difference is J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson are on the same page when it comes to taking advantage of the people over in Chicago. Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass seems to be on the same page when it comes to taking advantage of the people of Los Angeles and not doing the thing that's in the best interest of the city. Kathy Hochul and Eric Adams on the other end, they're at odds. They're at odds. Largely because Eric Adams is working with the Trump administration. We've covered that. We're going to continue to cover it. But one thing that is absolutely, positively, 100% has to happen is we have to start holding these governors accountable and putting their feet to the fire, not just Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, and Kathy Hochul. And right now, Kathy Hochul is going through a war of words with the Trump administration over congestion pricing. But before we get to that, I want to show you guys some of the things that's happening inside of New York City. Let's get to it.
This is a life and death thing. These are hardworking men and women that come to work every day that just want to go home, okay? And they're afraid to go in there.
A matter of life and death. You just heard from a former corrections officer at Attica Correctional Facility describing the need for change inside state prisons. He's among the voices we're amplifying tonight on what's been a very busy day 3 of the strikes outside of dozens of New York State prisons. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again. Just hours ago, the governor announced she is activating more than 3,500 National Guard members to support operations at striking prisons. The number of facilities with employees on the picket line tonight now up to 30. That's according to the union representing these officers, and that includes 5 state prisons right here in Western New York. Now,
so while they're telling ICE, don't work with Eric Adams to deport illegal migrants that have been captured and doing some of the worst crimes inside of your city, there are protests that is not being covered by national news that's happening right in New York, amongst other different issues that is taking place. And Kathy Hochul, who is the governor of New York.
Now, I'm about to let this finish playing in a second, but here's one thing that really blows my mind when you look at different stories when it comes to politics. So a lot of stuff that really blows my mind is you will see the media, they will publicize different points of view where you have people literally just complaining, right? But when you watch this video right here, you got correctional officers, they're actually on strike, and they're going to explain on how the National Guard was actually like enforced. They were activated and they were enforced. But nobody hears these stories. And it always blows my mind because it's like the stuff that gets publicized a lot of the times is really a lot of nonsense. Like a lot of the things that has been publicized over the last few days is everything dealing with like Elon Musk and Doge. Now, remember, Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, what we all know is they have been finding a lot of money that has been mismanaged. I think right now they actually have a Doge website. Doge has recovered, I think, about $55 billion so far. Now, mind you, Doge has not even, like the Trump administration has not been in office for that long. They've been there, it's now a month and a day, if I'm not mistaken. And they literally found $50 billion. But you have so many people that are having conversations about Elon Musk having basically having the rights to look at their personal information, which at the end of the day, guys, come on now. Anybody can get your personal information. Literally. I know softwares where you can literally put 2 softwares together and you can literally combine and get somebody's whole social security number. And it's completely legal. It's completely like right there. Like it won't give you every bit and every piece, but you literally put the 2 softwares together, you get the first 5, you get the last 4. whole Social Security, and this is information you could just easily get on the internet with no problem. But they don't even have conversations about stuff like this. Let's finish this, and then we're gonna finish having a conversation about it.
Refuse to do a good job for the citizens of New York. You know what she did? You know what she chooses to engage in while she's activating the National Guard and while the prisons are under siege and the people are protesting and everything is going to hell over there in New York City? You know what she decided to do? She decided to go against Trump. Because one of the things that we've been talking about and that's been happening is congestion pricing, which is basically a tax on the people for driving in New York City. They pay for the cars, they pay for the roads, they pay for the tolls, but now they got congestion pricing, which is just another way for them to continue to fleece money, in my opinion, out of the taxpaying citizens and the people of New York City. But
Now, for anybody that wants a deeper dive into congestion pricing, this is something that they actually just implemented this year. And so I looked it up, right? So actually, let me share this. Let me show y'all. So what is congestion pricing in New York, right? So it's $9 a day. That's first. And I don't know if anybody has actually taken a toll. Think about like New York and the toll going to New York. $9. That's kind of hefty because if you're going in and out of there, let's say you're like an Uber driver, cab driver, or whatever, it's $9 a day. So that's going in and out, right? So let's say it's the program, the first of its kind in the nation. Like I just said, they just implemented it. Aims to reduce traffic and pollution on some of the world's most crowded streets and help raise $15 billion in mass transit. It charges most passenger cars $9 to enter a designated tolling zone below 60th Street in Manhattan. So they plan to raise 15 billion and they're gonna charge $9 a day, right? Now that's congestion pricing. Now let's get back into the actual footage.
Trump decided to do something about it. This is what he did.
Breaking right now, an update on those congestion prices over in New York City. Our partners there reporting on that news just moments ago. Let's listen to that.
I'm Jessica Moore with breaking news. We have just learned the Trump administration is pulling the approval for congestion pricing. The Department of Transportation is sending a letter to Governor Hochul this afternoon saying it is, quote, backward and unfair. We have a copy of that letter. It says it's not a fair deal. Everyone should have access to the city, not just the elite. Congressman Mike Lawler tells our Marcia Kramer he was informed today that the decision had been made to end the toll that just went into effect on January 5th. As you know, charges drivers $9 to drive into Manhattan's central business district. And Marcia joins us now with more. Marcia, we barely had 1 month of this, and now it's over. Is it that simple?
Well, the thing about it is this, that President Trump made a promise on the campaign trail that he was going to end congestion pricing. And today, the people who wanted him to make that promise are saying, thank God he made the promise.
So essentially, Trump said no more congestion pricing. And again, I say this for everybody, regardless of whether you like Trump or you like the policies or the things that he promised on the campaign trail. With literally to today, he was inaugurated on January 20th, 2025. It is February 20th, 2025. It seems like he's been in office for 4 years already, and he's only been in office for a month because we've seen more of him every single day, making himself accountable to the reporters, asking unscripted questions, doing the interviews, signing executive orders, trying to end wars, doing all of the fraud, government audits, and all kind of stuff that's happening out here, designating bathrooms and making sure that men don't go into women's bathrooms and whatever it is that you can think of. Every single thing that he said that he was going to do on the campaign trail, he is doing. You may not have agreed with the thing that he said that he was going to do, but the one thing that you can't say, unlike other politicians, he doesn't lie. He's not going to lie to you and say that I'm going to do this, and then he doesn't do it. He don't at least fight for you. He's not implementing it. He's not signing an executive order. He's not making sure that Congress is aligned. And the one
President Donald Trump
making sure that even though they
So exactly everything on what he's saying, right? I feel the same way. And that's why I don't really understand, like, okay, for the individuals who have a personal issue with Trump, okay, cool. Have your personal issues. I'm not tripping on that. You know, I don't know the man personally. A lot of people don't know the man personally. You know, the only thing that that I look at when it comes to the administration. What are you actually doing? Like, that's one thing that I learned when it came to politics, and it was always one of those. The politicians, they say certain things, they campaign, they run, especially when it comes to, like, the Republican, the Democrats. The Democrats always say, oh, we're gonna tax the rich, we're gonna do this, we're gonna look out for the poor, give money back, all these different things, right? But it never happened. It never happened. We always was in situations to where we still would be messed up, deficits, I mean, just a number of things. And so the main thing that I actually always looked for, well, I'm not gonna say always look for, but especially like now, what are what is the administration going to do as far as infrastructure, as far as providing resources to where we can go out and we can actually obtain, in a sense, financial freedom? Like, I'm not an individual that look for people to sit here and say, give me a handout. That's not me. And I honestly believe that's one of the things that really hinders a lot of adults, is when you have somebody that's basically enabling you to where you don't have to go out there and actually try and compete. Now, I know that, like, you'll see as we get further into the broadcast, that's one thing a lot of people really would like try to argue those points. They're trying to, especially like, the video that we actually about to finish getting into. They were saying how they gonna fight a lot of stuff, but the one thing I never understood was like, okay, y'all basically are fighting change to transition into the new administration and where we going, right? But everything that y'all been doing, it hasn't been working. Remember, we had the whole migrant crisis, and that's another thing I don't understand either. Is like, people fighting for the migrants. Now, I'm not saying anything in regards to, like, their human rights or nothing like that. No. But where I'm coming from is, I don't understand why there are so many people like fighting for them to stay here illegally. That's where I don't get. Now, if any of y'all like know, and y'all can fill me in on it, please enlighten me. Seriously, because this is one of the reasons on why I like to, do the podcast and broadcast, because it opens me up to have the conversations with y'all. Because I honestly, like, when I tell y'all to, like, hit the like button, subscribe, and then drop a comment, I'm not just saying that only for the sole purpose of content. I'm really saying I want to have a conversation with you. So don't ever be scared to drop a comment, because I will comment back. I will respond back to you. I'm not one of them people where it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna respond to you. But fill me in. Why are so many people fighting to keep the migrants here? Where it's like, do y'all not believe that all of the other countries, they basically like open their prisons, and I'm not saying like 100% they all did it. No. But we do know that there's, a number of illegal immigrants, whether they was actually criminals in their own country. We know that they came here. We know that some of the criminals that came here, they committed crimes here. They have caused harm to our citizens, and we know that they are also taking resources from us. Now, whether you grew up poor or you are poor now, why would you want somebody else coming into your home and taking the limited resources that you already have or really don't have? Why would you want somebody to come here and take even more? That's where I really cannot wrap my mind around this. And you got literally politicians and everything campaigning on this, and actually trying to teach the migrants on basically how to stay here. Like, I cannot for the life of me understand. And I've heard some people say, in regards to like the labor, like, oh, who's gonna like pick the fruit, or who's gonna do this? And I still don't get it, because it's like, at the end of the day, business wise, I know for a fact, business wise, come on, man, people gonna have people come in here. When it comes to the migrants, you gonna have some illegals that's gonna come in here, that's gonna get busy, do work under the table, stuff like that. But for the life of me, I don't understand why our own citizens are campaigning and protesting and all that for other people to stay here in our house illegally. That's what I don't get. So if y'all know, fill me in, because I can't figure it out.
They didn't vote for him as a state. New York has been
State of New York. At 1:58 p.m., President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long live the king." Not back down, not now, not ever. Because who are we fighting for here? We're fighting for our residents, our commuters, our riders, our drivers, our emergency personnel. Life has gotten better, even those who have asthma, people with illness. That's who we're fighting for.
now.
I still don't get it, because she's still talking about congestion pricing. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, seriously, because how are y'all fighting for that when so listen. I always look at things from more than one side. You got one side that's literally saying, if we charge people to come into the city, it'll decrease people coming in. We still gonna generate revenue, and it'll limit everything. But as far as the whole, you fighting for people with asthma, you fighting for the drivers, cab drivers, all, it's like, how? Because they're gonna have to pay to come into the city too. And then on top of that, I haven't been to New York personally, but I know a lot of people. I even met people that moved from New York, and they say the traffic is ridiculous. Like, in order to drive like a mile down the road, it'll take like 30, 45 minutes. That's ridiculous to me. So a lot of people don't even drive. So I'm still trying to understand, like, what are they arguing about and fighting for? Because it seems like Trump is actually helping the citizens while they're not helping the citizens. And and we all know, when it comes to politicians, if they can find, especially like with the administration that's been in office, because we've been finding a whole lot of money that's been mismanaged. If they find a way to get money out of people, they're going to do it. And they try to throw a whole bunch of other things in, where it's like, oh, it's for you, it's for the betterment of you, it's helping you. And it's like, how? Like, I don't get it.
I'm not the sharpest knife in the tool shed at all. Not even close. Not even close. But let me ask y'all a question. When you see these politicians get up on these microphones and they say, we're fighting for people that may have asthma.
See?
So you have congestion pricing for the people that have asthma. That is why you have congestion pricing. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. I want to make sure that we all doing the same thing. I want to make sure that we all on board. You're fighting for the people that have asthma. That's why you have congestion pricing.
Now, Tom Dog, listen. Let's play devil's advocate, right? Because I'm in alliance with what Anton is saying. But let's flip it. Let's say they doing the congestion pricing to decrease the amount of drivers that are coming into New York or in Manhattan, everything below the 60th Street. How is that actually? Because it's like, you got to pay attention to what some people say. They're fighting for people with asthma and all like that. How in the hell is decreasing the cars, which overall, I mean, $9 is not like a lot. $9 is not something that's about to break your pockets, where it's like, oh my God, let's not go down here because it's going to cost us $9 to drive in. How in the hell is that going to decrease asthma? Once you got asthma, you kind of like, it's kind of over. Like, I got a number of family members. My fiance got asthma, the bronchi, all that. Decreasing charging $9 to supposedly decrease traffic is supposed to help with asthma. Like, you got to really pay attention to what these politicians actually be saying, because a lot of the stuff don't make sense. And it's kind of like, you got to just sit there and just listen and be like, bro, you sound stupid as ish. Like, why you even say this? Like, I can't even stand behind that and campaign behind that with you, man. Like, I don't get it. I do get it, but I don't get it.
I see this is going to be one of them shows. Let me get more comfortable. I'm going to get some water, take my jacket off, and we're going to have a conversation.
And the 6 million people who use the MTA to get to their jobs and their lives and their doctor appointment, nurses, doctors, EMTs, all the people who need to get to their jobs in a reliable way, they're now going to be affected. So I also have to raise a question. As I look at the pretext for this rejection, and we have a lot of legal reasons why we know we're going to be victorious, but they actually cited the will of New Jersey. New Jersey didn't want this. Ignoring the will, the people who live here, they're elected leaders in Albany, and all of a sudden, the Trump administration is citing, well, New Jersey wasn't happy, okay? I will talk about that later. But here's what I want to also say. I don't care if you love congestion pricing or hate it. This is an attack on our sovereign identity, our independence from Washington. And this is, we are a nation of states. This is what we fought for. This is what people like Alexander Hamilton and others fought for, to set up a system where we are not subservient to a king or anyone else out of Washington.
I think that the worst.
Hey, she sound like she trying to spark something. I ain't gonna hold you up. We are the United States. Yeah, we are states, but it's the United States. So I'm gonna definitely add the link into the description to finish watching the rest of this. I definitely recommend you go check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the Anton channel, the Millionaire Morning Show. Definitely something good to look at. But I want to get to the next subject. Next part of the show. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a comment, definitely. But let's get to the next part, because it's time to turn up on this, right? So, next part of the show, we about to talk about Earn Your Leisure. Now, with Earn Your Leisure, right? So I was checking it out. Now they got a few different segments on that network. And this is another channel that I actually like watch a lot. They got me into investing in the stock market, which I absolutely love now, because listen, watching your money grow, it'll change the whole dynamic of money, I'm telling you. And then the amount of money that you can actually make, yeah, it'll blow your mind. But on Earn Your Leisure, what they're talking about in this particular segment we're gonna view, they have Kendrick K on there. Now Kendrick K, she has a dating show, and what they actually about to get into is a lot of women, they have unrealistic expectations when it comes to the men that they're trying to seek. And this is a very good segment to actually watch, because a lot of times where you see on shows where you have like one side, because what you will see in the internet space, a lot of women, they want a particular type of man. And my philosophy is simple. I don't feel nobody is wrong for what they want. You know, if a woman wants, you know, a man that's of a certain height, certain caliber, certain physique, certain income, cool. It's nothing wrong with you wanting what you want. But just understand, that particular person that you want, they want something in return. And a lot of people, and it's just simply me just looking at, you know, different a bunch of different material where you have literally women coming up and stating their case on what they want, but they're never what the other person wants. So we about to get into this, because I think y'all actually like it a lot. But not only that, it'll blow your mind on just the conversation itself.
We have a guest that surprise. Peekaboo. Hey, Peekaboo.
Hey.
Hey, I don't want no problems. Hey, let me get my camera together. I don't want no problems. Okay, my name is Kendra. I'm not Kendrick. I ain't in it. I heard
Dating show went crazy.
like, I want to say 2 years ago. That's how I get all you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to just talk to that. Like, this show began during COVID, right? So it was the time when we were all locked in. This is pre-mask. So this is like.
Listen, I'm gonna add this also in the credits at the bottom too, but I want to get into the meat of things because this is what y'all want to hear. I promise.
20+ radio television veteran. So I need to be his wife. What? And let me tell you, you were personally requested. I got texts about you too. So I think that what it did is it also informed us on the new way of dating. This is not our grandma and grandpa's days of dating. You know, they just had to pick somebody in high school, if they went down south to visit somebody, or potentially college. Now we're in the social media world. All three of us are literally in 3 different locations having this conversation. So you see how social media has changed everything. So it's just a new way of dating.
I'm glad you got that point across. For people that did not know that I was on the show, they're gonna go back and they're gonna.
I'm gonna have to repost your video.
Oh, you gonna repost it?
I'm gonna repost this video in honor of this interview.
The replay. All right, so we got that out the way. That I was actually a featured guest.
Yeah.
Now this question on unrealistic expectations.
Okay, let's get that down. So
let's talk about that.
So a lot of the women, I'm gonna start off with the women, but I'm gonna go to the men too, because a lot of the conversation is focused on women with unrealistic expectations. So I gotta tell you this, my show changed me. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. I've talked to at least 15,000 single people now. So now I learned a thing or two. Most women want a man of you guys' caliber. You know, you guys, I'm gonna give you your kudos. You're successful men, you're attractive men, well-spoken men, black men, you know, do well, you do for the community. They all want you. Now, it doesn't matter if she's rich or poor, fine or not that attractive, they all want you. Now, we know the truth of the matter is you guys represent, really when it comes down to it, not the larger portion of the masses. You guys literally might be 10%, might even be less than that. You might be like the 5%ers, the 1%ers, but it doesn't matter because 100% of the women all want you. So what happens is, what I've learned is social media has given people insights to other people's lives. So every girl wants a man that makes bare minimum 100K, has to be attractive, faithful, prefers no kids. If she has kids, love her kids like they are your kids. Treat her kids like you created her kids. Show up for her when she needs you to show up for her. Go to church with her every day. Don't ever speak to another woman. Always be available, but work so much that you can fulfill my lifestyle. It's crazy. I'm saving my next invention is the AI guy. I'm gonna make the 6'6" AI human-like man because it's literally the only man that represents this. And I think that what I've come to learn is women get really offended because they use settling. I hate the word settling because if you say, oh, you're saying I'm not good enough for a man that makes 100K, it's like, and their argument will be, well, I make that or more. So it only makes sense for me to require a man that makes what I want or more. Logically speaking, I get that. I don't have a disagreement there. But the part that they're missing, which matters.
I do. I got a big disagreement with that. Now, remember, I said, you can want what you want. It's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times you have to stop thinking about solely you, because you have to think about, okay, if this is what I want, what can I also give to the other individual that they want? And that's where a lot of women fail at. Because while they think, okay, I make this, I do this, I look like this, they only focus on their end of it. But it's like, just because you think you are that don't necessarily mean that you are all that to the other individual. And I think that's where a lot of people fail at. They never think about the other person and what the other person is getting, because just because you think you're getting a good deal, you may not be a good deal for the other person. I know a lot of people, they, especially when it comes to women, a lot of people like to do a lot of coddling. They like to they like to do, white lies, as they like to call them. Basically like little lies. And they like to geek people up, but it's like you actually lying to yourself and you actually doing yourself a disservice. I actually remember I seen it was one of Kendra dating shows where a woman came up. She was decent looking. And she was saying how she had I actually did a review video to it. She had a 17-year-old kid. He was like 6'3", something like that, and then come to find out she actually had a daughter as well. And the dude that she wanted, once again, it's perfectly fine. You can want what you want. But I was just sitting there thinking, and I think about it a lot of times. I'm like, okay, you want a dude that's making a certain amount of money. You want him to be of a certain height, certain caliber, and but you come with all this baggage. Now, I'm not saying that children are necessarily like baggage per se, but you got to understand, to a man that has resources, that has built himself, that got himself somewhere, and you want him to come in and take over another man's family. I want y'all to really sit back and think about that for a second, because I've heard multiple people try to assume that, oh, it takes a real man to come do it, and it's very frustrating when like other dudes say it too. It takes a real man to step up and raise another man's kids. To me, that's like kind of like suicide in a sense, because it's like, if being a real man means I have to come in and do the job of another dude, why do I want to be classified? I don't want to be classified as a real man, because and a lot of times you always hear like women say that. And my one thing is, how can a woman tell a man how to be a man? How can a woman tell a man what is a real man when they're not a man? It's like you telling a story from simply your side because this is what you want, and you put it in your head, that's what real men do. But if you actually thought about it, women are not supposed to even be in those type of situations. So it's like you started something and you want me to come in and pick up the pieces that another man dropped off. And that makes me a real man because I decided to do that. I mean, kudos to the ones that do it, that come in and take a broken family and I guess make it back whole. But y'all got to stop classifying that as real men, because that's not a real men understand their value. They understand that they can actually, especially the ones that's about their stuff and that's really like at that level or above and like what all the women want. Why do you got to come in behind like if you can go buy something brand new, why would you go buy a used when you have full capabilities of buying it brand new? You got a full capability to go through all the experiences and live life as first experience for yourself. So why would you go after somebody else and do it? Like, I'm not saying there's no shade towards, anybody that already has a situation started, but literally just think about it. Especially for the ones that think that they're going to upgrade after they have children or like that. Just think about it. If the man that you want is better than your children's father, why do you think you're a benefit to him? That's where I want y'all to think about. And a lot of women that hop on her show, that's what they are. They're literally, I'm not saying they leftovers. I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm simply saying, if a man got all his stuff together, why do I need to come into your home or your situation and make it whole when I can literally go find? Because remember, there's way more beautiful women than there are successful put together men. So the ones that are put together, they're mentally, physically, financially, and all of that. Why do I have to come take you when there's women that's competing to be around me? Just think about that.
Matters the most is that man doesn't date the same. A lot of times, the wealthy man or the man that has the money, he doesn't want a broke girl, but he has enough. He goes into it knowing he's paying for everything, right? So even though you have a certain lifestyle, this man in his mind, I still got to pay for everything. So your money doesn't matter that much as you think it does. Sometimes the man, and y'all can speak to this because you guys are men. I don't want to talk for men. And these are you represent these men and you have these friends. Before I even answer, you guys tell me the answer. Do men that make a lot of money, do they care about the woman's money?
No.
No. It's a yes and no question. No, nobody is looking.
So before he even finished, it's a no, because it's like, wow, yes, I want you to be financially stable, right? You need to be financially stable for yourself as an adult. As a grown ass adult, you need to be financially stable. But if I'm coming into the situation and you want me to do all of these things on what you say a man is supposed to do, why lead with, oh, I make this, or I have these many houses, or I can do this with my car, and it's like, okay, so if you don't necessarily want, if you can lead with all that, what is really my position here when you want me to pay for everything? Because it's kind of like one of those, oh yeah, I got money, but I want to spend your money. It's like, what? Because in a sense, that's like slavery. Like, you want me to go, I gotta bust my butt, make all this money, do this. You want me to take care of everything while you just sit back and do nothing. And I'm supposed to be okay with that because what? Like you just got to make that make sense.
Okay, but it is beneficial if somebody got something going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of goes to the, you don't want a broke girl, but now you said no. Why'd you say no, Ian?
Because if I know with my acumen and investing in business, if I care about her enough, I can get her whatever back she needs off my acumen.
Okay. So that means you could, so for you, so what's most important to you? I'm not even sure. Are you in a relationship? If so, I'll back off. Okay, you are.
But you can ask your question.
Okay. So you have.
Let me ask Ian a question, because last week you said if something is draining you financially, you should
gotta
break
let
up.
it go. You gotta let it go.
But you just said you could finance somebody's life.
I didn't say finance. I said with my acumen, I can give them the tools to be able to go get their own bag.
Oh, so you teach them how to trade.
Yeah, and for sure. Like
I got
it.
Thank you for clarifying.
This is great journalistic integrity. But for real, like even in this situation now, knows how to trade futures, knows how to invest, does real estate. Cool. So it's a lighter load, and there are certain conversations I can have, which I think is really dope, about these conversations, and then go over to talk about the hang side or the German DAX. Like, I think that's a dope vibe. Have I taken a stray cat off the street and tried to clean her up before? Sure. Not my bag anymore, though. So
you want to do that anymore. So she got to have something. Okay.
She has to have a passion, for sure.
So I know I'm here to be interviewed, and look, I always be turning into the interviewer, and I'm going to answer the questions, but I don't want to miss this moment because you guys are like I said, you are the men that most women describe. So it'd be best just to hear from y'all. So Ian, what matters most to you when it comes to seeking a woman partnership?
Peace and love.
Okay.
Big on the peace.
Why do you say peace? You know you will get peace if you don't cause chaos.
Not true. Don't you lie, Kendra. Because all the women that be on your show, you know for a fact, they are not peaceful. I don't care under no conditions. Some women are not peaceful. They find issues. They complain and nag about the dumbest things. And it's like they don't even understand what their role is as women in these particular men's lives. They think that, I ain't about to go into all that.
If you don't call chaos, a woman won't make the house
crazy. Part of that is true.
That's not true. That's not true. Some people are toxic. Some people are toxic, and no matter how good you are, that
they love the drama.
The fact that they're still toxic.
Yep.
Okay, so when I think of peace, I think of, and y'all can correct me if I'm,
because a lot of times they won't even talk right, especially if they don't even come from a 2-parent household, and they don't see the structure of a man leading his household and her mother or the woman falling in line. they don't even understand what peace really means. They think that I don't even know what they think. They just don't understand what peace actually is. Like you can tell them exactly what you need them to do to be peaceful, and they will do everything else and think, oh, well, I'm doing my part. It's like, no, you doing what you want to do. You're not doing what I asked you to do. It's a big difference. And that's not peace.
Wrong. Okay, I haven't called, like I called you, you didn't answer the phone all day. And I couldn't be able to get in contact with you all day. At 9 o'clock comes, you're not gonna have peace. Cause I'm like, where the hell was you all day? Is that a justifiable,
No.
non-peaceful moment? Or in that case, would you say, no, I still deserve peace?
It's funny. It's always funny when women try to imitate me and try to make the voice. But see, one thing you got to understand is women who understand their superpower, which is their femininity, they won't even come at you like that because I'm gonna give it to you like this. Think about let's say a lion, right? You know, if you provoke a lion, your life could potentially be on the line. And a lot of times that's what I really think about when it comes to like men and women. Because a woman's superpower is her mouth. Like she could talk nice, sweet, make you feel a certain type of way, or she can nag the hell out of you and they can really just F your whole day up, and she could just argue and yap, 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 right? A man's superpowers is physical strength. Because no matter how much you're talking, if he raises his hand and get the whoosh, yeah, ain't too much you can really do. But because men typically have a restraint within themselves, women like to run their mouth, and it's like they know a man won't use their superpower against them. But it's like, if I didn't talk to you all day, now I'm not saying to express the way that you feel. You can express the way that you feel, but it's how you go about doing it. Because it's like, let's say hypothetically, this quick scenario, you are talking to the person that you've been rocking with or whatever, and y'all ain't talk all day, and it's, well, why you ain't call me, and you supposed to call me, and it's been all day, and I got an attitude and all. It's like, hold on, whoa. First off, remember who you talking to, because it's like you literally can come at it in a way to where where it's like a, hey babe, I missed you all day. I like when you call me. I like when we talk throughout the day. It kind of hurt my feelings because we haven't talked about and whatever. I guarantee you will get a 10 times better response from that man. And 9 times out of 10, because typically when men actually care for you, they don't want your feelings to be hurt. So by them not wanting your feelings to be hurt, you expressing it in a certain way, it'll go in one ear and it'll actually be retained, because it's not coming off as you nagging or being, or just being a pain in the A, and you still being respectful at the same time. Because one thing I can honestly tell you, men, we care more about respect than we do love. Like, as long as you respect me, we pretty much okay. But when you start disrespecting, you can't say that you love me and disrespect me at the same time, because it's like, it's just out the window. So it's like you have to know how to operate even when you're upset.
No, I would say my bad. I was trying to line up something for Invest Fest. I'll do better next time.
He just came up with that one.
Rashad, why you laugh?
Why you say it like that? Like, no, I still deserve peace.
No,
well, everybody, hold on, let me say this. Let me say this. What you choose to put up with is up to you. That doesn't mean that you should disrupt somebody's peace. I think I should have peace no matter what I do.
No matter what happens.
No matter what happens. If I don't call you for 6 weeks, I think I still deserve peace. You deserve
6 weeks crazy.
You deserve
to
be
mad crazy.
No. But what I'm saying is, hear me out. Now that's up to you to have boundaries as far as what you will accept and what you won't accept.
Yeah.
So if the behavior is unacceptable to you, then you can make a decision to no longer be in the situation. I always look at it like, I'm not being with somebody that I got to argue with. Because if I got to argue with you, then there's issues, right? We don't need to argue. If we have to argue, we don't need to be together.
Facts.
Okay.
Because it's really about approach.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because if you say, hey, I know you're busy. I'm busy too. I care for you. It's 9 o'clock. I would love to hear from you if you have a break. Only take a minute. I can handle that.
See?
But the attitude of why the fuck you ain't caught? No.
Who you talking to?
Gotta go.
Okay.
Like,
First
get the F
violation,
on.
just wrap this shit up.
Okay. Two things.
Especially when you know you're dealing with a dude that's him. You know he him. You got to be out of your mind and get out of pocket. Like, you can do that with them dudes at the bottom because they the ones who want to. They ain't got too much to lose. You know what I'm saying? They'll fight you, be all that ghetto stuff, and they'll go back and forth with you. But the ones that's about it and got stuff going and it's really got motion, you can wrap that one up.
Things can be true though. So Rashad, I agree with that, right? If you have to have boundaries and if the actions are not aligning to what you want to accept, back away. But when it comes to the peace part, what if the conversation is about to not cause peace? Like you gave an example of 6 weeks. I haven't heard from you, Negro, in 6 weeks. Like, what's up with that? Some men will say just you asking that conversation is taken away from peace. Because why would you even bring up you haven't talked to me in 6 weeks? And that's the part I can't get with. Like, because you can ask the question that then causes the argument. So she shouldn't even ask the question that is not right. Like, okay, I haven't heard from you.
Real quick. The just with their scenario, the 6 week thing, if you don't speak to a dude or vice versa for 6 weeks, y'all don't even have a like legit, like y'all not even on that level to where you can ask those type of questions. Like, yo, I ain't talked to you in 6 weeks. What's up? Y'all not even at that level. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just because it goes both ways, but if y'all are dating, you not even about to go 6 weeks without talking to him. So if you actually go a long period of time without talking to that person, bro, just wrap it up. Wrap that whole situation up because that's not a real situation. You feel what I'm saying? And then remember, even when she just playing out the scenario, Negro, why I ain't talking to you? Did you see the head movement and all like that? She subconsciously did it, but like some women, they feel that they can just do stuff like that. And it's crazy because I've actually seen like older women, like I'm talking about like 70s, 80s, stuff like that. They will say, I won't even raise my voice at that man because he's a man. Why would I do that? But today, totally different. Like, totally different.
No, you shouldn't ask. You know why you haven't heard from me? Because we're on a 6 week basis. If I'm just saying, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying hypothetical. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying in general. I'm just speaking in general, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so if this is like not your girl.
Well, there's a thing called the relation. There's a marriage. There's an engagement. There's a relationship.
Then you got the work.
There's dating, and then there's a casual vibe. There's a casual vibe. Yeah. Too many casual vibes think they're
want the wifey treatment. Yes,
you're not in a relationship. You're a casual vibe, and you signed up to be the casual vibe. So you got to hold some responsibility here.
Oh my God. Okay,
talk about it.
Okay, first of all, I'm happy we got clarity because I knew that's what you meant when you said peace. Because all men say this, and really, what peace means, don't bring up a conversation that will take away from peace. So as Rashad said, even though I haven't called you in 6 weeks, you should know in your mental why I haven't called you in 6 weeks. So when I talk to you 6 weeks later, you shouldn't ask the question, where have you been in 6 weeks? You should decide whether A, to answer the phone or not answer the phone. Is that what you're saying is the answer, Rashad?
Yes, because you haven't called me in 6 weeks either. And like I said, I'm not talking about me personally. I'm just saying in general.
Right.
It takes two to tango. So if we on this situation where neither one of us communicate, well, you haven't called me in 6 weeks. You haven't texted me. You're not texting me every morning saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Da da da. So we both have an unwritten. You know what it comes down to a lot of times. Nobody ever talks about this aspect of it. A lot of women have passive aggressive attitudes because they don't communicate, and then they want somebody else to communicate. What you want, you should do. That's what I learned in life. If you want something, you should do it. So if I want you to talk to me every day, I should talk to you every day, right? If I want you to, like, too many women are just don't talk, they don't say anything. They expect the guy to do something, the guy's not doing it, and then they feel away because it's like, damn, like, you're not doing this. Well, you're not doing it either.
Yep.
Well, a couple things. I want to go back. I know we're just giving a hypothetical scenario with the 6 weeks thing, but in that case, what if she did text you like, "Hey, how you doing?" and then you don't respond to 6 weeks later? Because let's say she gave the alley oop, she reached out to you last, and then now you come back around. And 6 weeks is
Wrap it up.
big, but it could be 3 days, 4 days, or whatever. That causes a conversation of let's talk about this. And I think that men don't.
You ain't it, shorty. Just wrap it up. 3 days, 4 days. Just wrap it up. You not it. You not. Come on, huh? Like that's one thing people shouldn't be out here playing games with. Like, somebody want to talk to you, they gonna talk to you. But if they taking like a day, 2 days, 3 days, just wrap it up.
Like the conversation of when you did something out of pocket, this is going to take away. We're not going to have a peaceful moment because I got to call you out on this. Now, how I approach it could be deciphered. I could agree with that. But you can't just say, don't ask me where I haven't been in 6 weeks. You know what it is, Rashad.
No. You don't. No. Let's put it in perspective. First of all, if you text somebody and they text you back 6 weeks later, there is no relationship.
There's no relationship.
Okay.
You should have enough common sense to
read the room.
This isn't a person that's taking me serious, right?
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is more so on the lines of we don't talk at all, and we might talk once every 6 weeks. So in that situation, you can't hold somebody accountable. You can't hold that person accountable because you've accepted that you yourself have signed up for this casual. It's called casual dating, right? Mm-hmm. You yourself have signed up for it. So I just think that there's too much blame that goes on men in this society.
Here's the deal. Transparency, I respect, right? So if you are a guy who's always honest and saying, this is what it is, I'm not really looking for nothing serious.
No. That's part of the problem too. It's not it's not about transparency.
No, okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
It's not always about transparency. It's because most people are not communicating. This is what I learned in life. Most people don't communicate, and then what ends up happening is that there's assumptions that's made based off of actions. So most people are not saying this is what it is. Most people just go into it, vibe, and then it plays out how it plays out.
Facts.
Now
that's a mistake though.
Big time.
That's some bullshit. No, I gotta jump in. That's some bullshit, Rashad. Let me tell you why. Because you can't blame the woman then, because now she's going off of hope, right? Because if a guy is selling to her, right now I don't want anything serious, but this can grow into something. I really am feeling you. He's planting the seeds that more is to come. So this woman, whether it be right or wrong, she's going off of his words, and that I don't respect. But if a guy is transparent and says, listen, right now, I just can't, I really can't give you all that you want, but listen, I don't mind spending time with you when I can respect that. The no conversation, the no clarity, you cannot get mad at the woman because she doesn't know. And now you're telling her she shouldn't even have the conversation.
But what about the times when it is communicated and then they still feel away?
That's the part I agree with. If it's communicated, that's respect. Like, now you know what it is. He didn't lie to you. She didn't lie to you. Now you can make an honest decision on how you want to proceed. But what Rashad said kind of is what most men do. They kind of keep it cloudy. They don't tell you all the way that I'm not really into you. This is not going nowhere. They kind of keep it like level of, no, this has the opportunity of growth. So women will sit there because most women are hopeless romantic, and especially if it's a guy they really would desire to be with, right? Like, you are the type of guys that women are going to be hopeful for, but that's not right. You got to be honest with her in order to get the right reaction from her, because she deserves that. And I think then you can't get mad. But if you keep it cloudy, you can't get mad at her because you're not making it clear to her.
Well, they get mad when you're honest. Yo, why not me? Or why her over me? Or what? It's like, yo. And a lot of guys don't want to keep, especially you doing business hours. So what?
Right.
Wrap it up.
What you mean? I will say this. I think where women have screwed up the game is women got to treat every guy like he's ugly. Don't give the rich man. Let me tell you why. Because if the guy is ugly.
Hey, listen, sometimes you can't take advice from some women. Like, you take certain points, but you can't take every point, because listen, like she said, you got to treat every guy like they ugly. if you okay, first off, you got to understand women that's out here trying to get into relationships, right? You got to understand a lot of times it's a woman's job to be kept by a man. So just as men are out here choosing and picking a woman has to choose and be chosen, right? If you treating because women who think a man is unattractive, ugly, whatever, they're gonna act a certain type of way to where it's like, ugh, like, back up off me. I don't really want to rock with you. So I kind of understand where Kendra is coming from, but the part that Kendra is also missing is if you're acting that way towards a dude, especially towards a dude that you actually want, what's stopping him to say, homegirl, you like for real? Like, I got 15 more of you literally in my phone where I can literally leave from you right now, call the other one and tell her to be ready in the next 20, 30 minutes, and I'll be out doing my thing. Now, a woman can say, oh, I can do the same thing. And it's like, yeah, so the reason why there's a significant difference between the two is because while yes, women can get on their phone, holler at another dude, hey, take me out, whatever. But the biggest difference is a lot of majority of the time, those men just trying to smash. That's it. They just trying to smash. They're not trying to take you serious. They're not trying to keep you. They're not trying to do nothing. They trying to get that, bust that nut. That's it. Women, on the other hand, y'all not trying to do that. And the ones that are, they classified as being nasty. But the ones that's out here that's trying to get to the point of having a man to provide for them, protect over them, and all like that, that's because it's typically what women want. Why the hell would you think you're gonna treat a man as if he's ugly and think that the nigga that you want is gonna actually take you serious after that? Like, that's where it's like, I get what she's trying to say, but practically it's not really gonna happen because even though we have social media has made it 10 times easier for the dudes that's actually about that. It's so much easier for them to actually get access to more women now. So easy. Especially you got some money. You know what I'm saying? You got some motion. You got your own everything. Yo, baby, yeah, I'll pay for your little spirit flight. I'll pay for your spirit flight. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Come over here. Come kick it with me for about a day or two. No problem. I'll pay you a round trip. You know what I'm saying? You can go ahead and get back out of here. I'll fly you out, slap them cheeks, send you on about your way. Like, come on. Like, you can't take advice from everybody. I'm telling you, like, you got to take bits and pieces because some stuff makes sense, but some stuff don't.
You're not checking for him as much. You're not checking for him as much. If you don't got that much money, you ain't checking for him as much. What happens is
that's part of the problem. That's what you just said.
Being too nonchalant is part of the fucking problem.
No, you treating the guy that's ugly, the guy that's not rich, like a piece of shit. He's the catch. He's actually the catch. He's the catch because the guy that you trying to treat, the guy that's rich, that's the guy that got the options. That's the guy that's gonna leave you hanging. That's the guy that's gonna dip out for 6 months at a time and come back. That's the guy that's now broke dudes can do the same thing. Don't get it wrong. But what I'm saying is that mindset that you just described is part of the problem in the black community.
Well, you gotta let me finish the whole statement because the whole statement is we're saying the same thing. What happens is they make the exception for the rich guy, for the attractive guy. And that's why I said you got to treat every guy how you would treat if he was ugly. Because if the rich guy was ugly or broke, you wouldn't be stunting him. You're only calling him back 6 weeks later because he got the money or because he's attractive. But if you didn't like him, if he was ugly to you, you would keep it moving. So this is why I'm saying in the mindset of the women to communicate, no guy is the exception. Okay,
Wait. We're not going to do that.
No, you can't. Two things can't be true, Rashad.
Listen. LeBron James decided he wasn't going to play in the All-Star game an hour before the All-Star game. You know why he's able to do that? Because he's LeBron James. Life is full of exceptions. We can't. No. We're not going to do that. Life is full of exceptions. You have to make exceptions for exceptional people. Because what's the point of being exceptional if you're not going to make exceptions for an exceptional person? That's the whole point of being exceptional.
Okay. Shout out to LeBron James. We're not talking about basketball. We're talking about dating, and we're talking about how we're going to be treated. Hold on, let me get this out. Let me get this out. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if he's rich, if he's treating you like, if he's not showing up for you, if he's not there for you. What does his money matter? What does his access matter? What does his good looks matter if you are not benefiting from it, if he's not going to treat you the way he should be treated? And this is why I'm saying do not make exceptions for treatment, because it does not matter at the end of the day. LeBron James has a wife. Only his wife gets his treatment. So if you want to be a wife, no matter who LeBron James is, that position's taken. Keep it moving. You don't make an exception for that. If you want to be a wife, he's a married man. So we're talking about relationships.
Kendra, let me reframe the question. You make exceptions for exceptional people. Meaning, if somebody's treating you bad, you don't make exceptions for that. But what I'm saying is that you're gonna make exceptions for if Ian can't call you for a day, you making an exception for him. Because he's not a regular person. So there's a reason why he's not calling you, right? He's traveling, he's working. He's going to be able to provide a certain lifestyle that
building for the future.
It's a thing called a seesaw. You yourself have to be willing to accept certain things and make exceptions for certain things if you want the benefits and the rewards of certain things. No benefit comes without risk. Right.
But what's the benefit of, but I got to jump in and let me tell you why I still disagree with this, because I understand Ian has this wonderful lifestyle. He's an exceptional man. But what I'm learning is that's not what I need or what I want. I want a man that I can see 5 days a week. I want a man that can show up for me when I need him to show up for me. Now, I respect that.
Then you don't try to go after those particular men. You gotta understand, dudes is making, the high six figures, even not even just six figures, just let's say he got he's a manager at a warehouse or something like that where he has real responsibilities. They have to do certain stuff in order to keep that type of income because people are depending on them in the workplace. So they might have to work 12, 14 hours every single day. They not gonna be able to show up for you all the time. Why? Because they gotta work to provide a certain lifestyle. Like, we gotta stop being unrealistic when it comes to certain things, as if just because you see a few dudes on social media making all this and doing certain things, bro, jump back into reality. In reality, dudes have to work. Dudes got families, they got kids. You know what I'm saying? They have responsibilities that they got to take care of. Not everybody is going to be the multimillionaire. And the ones that are multimillionaires, they work their ass off. Like, stop thinking that these dudes are not working their ass off. They do. They work their ass off, yo. Like, it's unrealistic expectations. Seriously, unrealistic. Where you think a motherfucker about to just show up for you and be there and do. It's like, bro, why do you think I'm just gonna be readily available for you? And here's another thing. Women actually love and appreciate you 10 times more when you're not always around, not always available. Why? Because they're yearning for you, because they can't have access to you all the time. But they not gonna say that. I want you to be here for me. Well, what the fuck? Why would I be here for you all the time when I gotta go work? That's what I want to do. Why do I want to be laid up under you all day when eventually I'm gonna get tired of you because I see you all the time? I need to go make this money, because when something pop up, what you gonna want me to do? You gonna want me to pay for it, right or wrong? Like, so come on now.
Ian is this amazing man, but what I'm learning is his exceptional manhood is not the man for me, because he can't show up for me when I need it. And we're kind of saying the same. This is why I don't want to call, I hate the word ugly, but I just use that because these are the men that a lot of times women can disregard easily, right? Like, if they feel like he don't got money, he's not attractive, they keep it on push easy, right? But then they make the exceptions for the men that you're describing. But I'm going to stand 10 toes down. Do not make exceptions for those men if you know they can't provide you what you want in the long term. If they're not going to show up for you in the way you want to be showed up for, if your goal is to be a wife and you know that this man is exceptional, and yes, he got access, but he's never going to be my husband, keep it on push, because that's what happens. You just waste your time for an exceptional man who's never going to lock you down.
Quick question for you. Do you think because of social media, men and women both disregard each other and discard of each other too quickly because they think they have more options than they really do?
Absolutely. It's a buffet. Really, here's the deal. If you want to, if you are a long-term dater, the world is of your oasis. Like, you can date forever, and there's a lot of options for dating, nice weekends, maybe months, but I do stand, if you are looking for marriage, I don't think that pool is as wide. I think most people who are looking for someone to marry, they have particular things that have to align for that. And then you will learn that pool isn't as wide as the pool as a serial dater. But some people are happy with serial dating. Like, not everybody wants to get married. Like, there's some people have decided that, listen, I can live a fulfilled, happy life without becoming a husband or without becoming a wife. It's a new time. It's not the time back. There's a lot of women who are doing well financially, so they can afford to pay for their lifestyle. Back in
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. And the reason I say that is because let's paint this scenario out. Now, I'm not saying this is 100%. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying majority. When do women typically just say, I don't want to be a wife, I don't want to have children, I just want to be rich, and I just want to live life, right? Now, a lot of them say, I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, cool. But you telling me on your travels, because at the end of the day, we all want to smash. You telling me you want to travel and you just gonna smash dudes at random places? Like you in Jamaica, you gonna smash just a random Jamaican dude? You in the Bahamas, you gonna smash a Bahamas dude? You don't have nobody to go on dates with. You don't got nobody to go on, bottomless mimosas with. You have nobody that's gonna, oh baby, yeah, you beautiful today. Saying, oh, I get cute for myself. No, you don't, because nobody gets cute just to look at themselves in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's really a lie. And then it's like, at the end of life, let's say you all the way at 70 years old. When you look back at your life, what you gonna say? Oh, well, yeah, I made all this money. I traveled here. I did this. I got pictures to show about my life. Or does the woman that have, multiple children, a family, a husband, you know, she helped them build a legacy, resources, and she can look back and say, me and my husband created this beautiful family. I got, anywhere between 2 to 5 children. I got anywhere between, uh, let's say 5 to 15 grandchildren, maybe like 3 great grandkids. They have a nice amount of wealth. And it's like, when you take a family portrait, like, which one, like, just thinking, like, you as a woman, which one are you really gonna be more happy with? The, oh well, yeah, I made all this money and I'm gonna donate it to, a foundation, or me and my husband had a wonderful marriage. We had a wonderful family. Yeah, we had our ups and downs, but this is my best friend. We rocked it out. We made it through everything. We built all of this together. So it's like, a lot of people, they always like to talk about that small ass minority. And it's like, the minority does not make the rule, the majority do. And in large, women don't want to be out here being single unless they like being 304s, just getting smashed on by any dude. Listen, as a man, I don't think no man will sit here and really argue where it's like, well, shit, I'm cool with, smashing a new chick every now and again. I ain't got to deal with the headache of dealing with one. I could just take care of myself and just clap cheeks whenever. I don't think no man really gonna argue with that for real. I'm just saying.
Back in the day, Big Mama didn't have an option. She had to deal with Big Daddy's bullshit. because even if she didn't care, she couldn't afford to leave. Also, she didn't have social media to throw it in her face. You didn't meet the other children to the funeral, right?
Man, I always hate this. Like this is one example that people love to use. Oh, Big Daddy had another family across town, and it's like, bro, every granddad did not like go out his way and cheat and create other families. Like, yeah, it happened sometime, but that is not the majority of things. That wasn't a majority, bro. Like, come on.
Right? It wasn't until you met your other aunt and your other uncle that he had a whole family down south until the funeral. It wasn't a Snapchat, an IG, or Facebook that you can watch it in real time, and that makes it more difficult to accept. So I think you got to decide what type of dating style you want. And I want to go back to Rashad because I know Rashad's sitting here as an exceptional man. We've had these off-record conversations. No, you should give me grace. I deserve at least 3 months. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't deserve no 3 months. A girl should decide as she's dating you within a few weeks how you're treating her. Is this what she wants? Do the benefits that you provide benefit her?
Kendra. You run a show called Singles, right?
I do.
So that means everybody that comes on your show is single, right?
Yes. And yes. And I will say this, yes, sometimes we get married people looking for a person to add on. We get transgender people. Yes.
That was
a poly.
Sometimes it's the wife. Yeah.
That was a spicy one. But all right, let's talk about because we talk about that too. But let's talk about this. When I say unrealistic expectations, right? You telling a woman that she should have 2 weeks of dating, and then from that 2 weeks of dating, it should be a decision on that's unrealistic.
Okay, I agree with that. Yes. What I'm saying is weeks. I'm just saying that, yes, I can agree with you there. 2 weeks is not enough time. So we agree on that. But what I will say, because we were more so talking about exceptional, and you brought LeBron James, who really is not even a good example because he's a unicorn. Like some people say they're a unicorn. No, LeBron James literally is a unicorn walking our planet. He's one of one, right? We can't compare him to pretty much anybody. But I guess what I'm saying overall, and this is why I said treat every man like he's ugly. A lot of times women make a lot of exceptions for men of your caliber, and there could be some grace, but at some point in time, you got to recognize what do you want. Like women say that.
Yo, so we about to cut the feed off on Instagram. So if anybody on Instagram that want to continue watching and contribute to the conversation, go over to the YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, of course, and definitely drop a comment. CEORicoTV.com. That'll take you right to the channel, and you'll jump right in. Get over there now. So we about to cut that feed. 3, 2. All right, let's get back to it.
That they're the prize, but then they become the chaser. You can't be the prize and the chaser. Both just don't.
I ask you a question. Do most women, say this with grace, do most women know how to treat and keep an exceptional man?
No.
Okay, let's get into it, child.
Because they wasn't taught.
One thing, okay, I want to go back, and this is something with you guys. So we did Invest Fest, and I was a part of Invest Fest. Thank y'all so much for having me. But y'all had a dinner after, right? And I remember, because I'm in this dating space now. I said, every girl in this room is gorgeous. Like, it was like, I don't know if the requirement was you had to be the most beautiful girl to be invited. But every girl in the room, I was like, these are all 10.
So listen to what she said. So I just want y'all to think about that. If she said, because they have an event that goes on every year at Invest Fest. I haven't been yet, but I'm definitely going to make it to the next one, of course. But if she just sat here and said that it was a dinner and every one of those women in there were 10s, think about that. Those women are in there to compete for the men at the top. So why do you think that you can come in and supposedly tame this man in a sense that he had to work and get to a certain place, and you think that, oh, he's going to be faithful, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, it's all about me, and it's unrealistic expectations, and that's where a lot of women really go wrong at. Like, now it's a difference if you were with him before he got there, you helped and contribute and built with him to get to the top, then you are looked at as a value asset. And because you are an asset, a man will look and appreciate you as an asset. And of course, who will really want to? Why would a man want to sit here and mess that up to go out here and deal with one of these women that really ain't about nothing? That's literally just trying to suck his resources out. And it's like men, we want to provide for our women and our families. We want to do that. Like, that's a natural thing. But if it seems that as if you're just sucking our resources out, you're not being a value add, you're not a benefit, you're a liability, what is the point of being around you? So all of these 10s are around them, which means you got to compete. You got to know how to treat that man. Not saying that he's not supposed to know how to treat you, but you have a role to fill. Just think about that.
Like, beautiful and a lot. So going back to your just you know how to keep, I will say this. There's a lot of women who are married to what we consider exceptional men. And I always tell women, become friends with those wives, because they're never going to really share with you on social media what they're dealing with, but they might be dealing with things that you might not be willing to deal with for the greater good. Now, I don't want to use famous couples in particular, but I think we all live in a space where we know women who are married to what we will all consider exceptional men, attractive millionaires, and behind closed doors, there's things going on that they'll never talk about on social media, right?
Yeah.
So I try to give insights, and the best way I give insight with that is become friends with those wives. Learn the truth of what they're dealing with to keep that type of man, right? So I will say no. I will say that most women do not know the requirements that come on my show. Let me say that come on my show don't really know the requirements that come along with this man they say they want. And I think one of the things they disregard a lot of is a lot of energy of he cheats, he goes out. A lot of times the woman is coming for your man. Like, you might have a guy who ain't even looking for it, but women are ruthless and they will come for your rich, fine, accessible man because they don't give a shit about you. All they care about is what they can benefit. So I hate to keep the man line, but if we're going to talk about this type of man you guys are describing, I don't think a lot of women that call me know the reality of what it's going to take. But how about this? We have, without giving all the secrets, what are some of the things you think women should know if they want a man like that?
A man like what?
A man that we consider exceptional, a part of the 10 or 1% category, attractive, has money, moves around. What should these women know?
9 times out of 10, because you can't speak. There's always going to be exception to the rule.
Yeah, it's going to be exception.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you're not going to be a normal person mentally. Meaning, if you reach the level of success, like, you got to understand, it's almost impossible to reach a certain level of success as a black man. Like, you become a millionaire, you become whatever, like you become a successful entrepreneur. Like, that's damn near impossible. What you had to go through to get to that is not normal. You had to deal with family, you had to deal with relationships, you had to overcome this, you had to go broke, you had to bet on yourself, you had to stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning, you had to travel across the country, you had to, have sleepless nights, you had to battle depression, you had to go through all of that. You're not a normal person mentally.
Yep.
That's important for people to understand, because it's like a lot of times when you're with these people, you don't think that, but these people, they might be introverts, they might be insecure, they might not even want to speak to nobody. Like, you got to be able, I think somebody has said this to us, you got to be able to almost be their therapist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people are there for just the ride. They're there because they see somebody is successful and they want the fruit of that labor. But they never want to pour into that person. They never want to pour into that person, right? Because it's like you see a lot of these celebrities and they have issues, and you're like, why this person got issues? Like he's rich or they rich. But it's like you don't understand mentally what they had to go through. And nobody ever wants to pour into the rich person. There's no sympathy for the king.
At all.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like everybody's trying to get something from that person.
And real quick, only the people who've actually been through the fire and made it to the other side, or us going through the fire, them are only people that actually understand
to better their life. But
Yep.
it's like, I think going into that situation, you should go into it with a giver's mentality, with a listening mentality, with an understander's mentality of like, what have you gone through? How can I help you? Like, how can we unpack certain things like in your life? Like, how can I make this better? How can I make your life better? And just sometimes that type of person is not going to ask for help because they had to go through so much that they don't feel comfortable asking for anything. So it's on you to actually be a good observer. And do things for a person without them actually asking for it. The appreciation that somebody will have for you when you do something for them without them asking for it is probably the highest level of appreciation ever, especially somebody that very few people actually ever think about doing something for. Nobody, like you think of charity, you think about people that's less fortunate. Nobody ever thinks about doing something for somebody that's fortunate, right? But
it's rare.
People that are fortunate, they need help too.
Right.
Facts. And a bunch of
Can I jump
areas
in?
too.
So I
Of course.
think those are all, I think that's good insight, right? I have a lot of women who are willing to be that type of woman to their man. Does attraction matter? Does she have to be able to do that and be attractive?
I think that goes without
Attraction is the
saying.
number one thing when it comes to human. Like when we were first put on Earth, right? Like we are attracted to people. That's it. Now I think you can learn to love somebody and not physically, and they're not the top 10 for you. You see that all the time, especially with women. You guys, I don't think looks matter for women, right?
No,
I disagree with that.
No, because when I get attractive guys on the show, attractive and money is jackpot. But sometimes attraction still will pull the women in further than the money. I've had men who had money, but because they didn't have swag, couldn't really pull the women all the way. So I'm going to say for women, like I literally had a guy who was out of jail. He got my Facebook page banned. He was out of jail. He had a gun. This is a true story. He had a gun behind him. He had weed behind him. Crazy stuff. I didn't even put his contact info because he was so crazy. The women were hitting me up like, yo, what was his contact? I'm like, yo, you're going to die with this man. What are you talking about?
Big fact.
So no, I have to say.
Bad boy vibes. Women love danger.
But Rashad, the reason I brought up attraction is because when I asked you what type of qualities get that type of man, you led with characteristic. But the truth of the matter is, if she's not attractive and has that characteristic, she doesn't have a shot.
Yes, you're right.
Right. And that's the part we can't negate, because I got a lot of women who have those characteristic qualities, but I'm not sure if she will fit your attraction qualities. So really, you want the attractive girl to then act like that. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because the girl that's attractive, she got a lot of options too. She got a lot of, like, she's moving. If you liked her, that means there's a lot of other men that liked her, because it's.
See, all right. So she is right. She would have a lot of options because of her attractiveness. But you got to understand, we talking about the dude that's here, not the dude that's here. We talking the dude that's here. If the dude that's here is checking for you, you can have a lot of options, but they not me, baby. They not top dog. They not big dog. They not up here. They can't provide what I'm providing. Because once again, we got to stop trying to look at it and think that all men is making a certain type of amount of money and that got this, and this, that's resourceful. They got all these resorts. It's not a lot of them. You can look up the data. Only about 15% of men in the entire U.S. makes 6 figures. We talking 100,000 plus. No, I think it's 10%. 15 is like the 70,000 and up, if I'm not mistaken. So if only 15% of the men in the whole US, we talking 300 million people, 15% is 70,000 plus. And then at six figures, 100,000 plus, it goes on to 10%. There's a bunch of beautiful women. It's beautiful women everywhere, especially when you go to certain parts of the country. Miami, I believe the DR, where else? I mean, a bunch of different other places, Cali, like LA, bunch of different places, a bunch of beautiful women. But it ain't that many dudes that's making that type of money. So you kind of, that's one thing you got to think about too.
Took a lot for you to say, you know what? I think you're dope. You're not the only guy that's feeling that way.
But you know what? Also, you bring up a good point. This is a good conversation because what happens also is it's a pretty girl syndrome.
Yep.
When pretty girls, they've been pretty much their whole life.
Yep.
So by the time they get to like 14, they're already being courted, right? And guys are already going out of their way to do whatever they want for them, right? So they never really had to do much as far as like be considerate and pour into somebody, and they never so you got to cultivate
those
skills in life,
yep.
right? You got to cultivate skills in life. They never had to learn how to cook. They never had to learn how to actually sit and have a conversation that's deeper than,
because the dudes at the bottom was the ones who was doing all that.
Just some bullshit, because they've almost been objectified as like a Christmas tree ornament, right? Mm-hmm. That's detrimental to them.
Yep.
Because at some point in time, your looks are going to start to fade. Yep. And you're going to get older.
Yep.
And you don't have any real substance. It's detrimental to the guys because, like you said, if a guy's looking for just a pretty girl, they're going to get a pretty girl that's super shallow a lot of time, not all the time, because so now it's a cycle of dysfunction.
Yep.
And like you said, the women, the good women, mm-hmm. sometimes if they're not attractive, they're going to get overlooked by that guy. But there is somebody for everybody, so they'll connect with.
That's
a certain
lie.
person.
Why do we say that? You know, everybody doesn't get a romantic partner.
Yeah, they don't.
Most people don't move around enough and improve themselves enough to get that partner, though.
Facts.
Well, I think that this is a luxury that men have. So, like, men, you guys have time on your side.
That's right.
Like, first of all, you get the grace of not being in a relationship. Like, you can show up with a different woman to a different event and no one judges you. If anything, the men salute you. Like, he always got a baddie. He always got a baddie. A woman doesn't get the same luxury. Look how Lori Harvey was being judged during her dating stage. Every time she had a new man, oh, she this, she that. But if it was a guy, it wouldn't have been judged. Also,
it's a double standard. Get over it. There's things that men can do, and there's things that women can do. You talking about one of the double standards that men can do. You just got to get over it. Just like we get over the stuff that women can do. It is what it is.
If a man makes himself into something with money, at some point in time, there's always going to be a girl, might be shallow reasons, because she's coming to you because of the money. You will always be able to have a somebody.
Yep.
Women and people get so mad when I enlighten them, but you don't even need me to say this. I think God is good, and somebody might be your mother, it might be your best friend, it might be a coworker, but everyone does not end up with a romantic partner. It's just not the truth. And I think that if people can understand that, then they won't disregard relationships as much if it's workable. A lot of times, a lot of the relationships that people desire, they went through things. They just didn't give up. It wasn't like he didn't cheat. It wasn't like a baby wasn't created by somebody else. Like, it wasn't those things. It was they decided we're going through this until we see Jesus, and that's the end of the story. And they decided to work through all the challenges that happen within life. But back to what we said earlier, everyone feels like they have so many options. So it's like, I'll just find something better. And they just kind of go on that train. And I think for like Rashad, I'm not even sure if you want to be a husband or not, but it doesn't matter to me if you do or don't. That's your own personal decision. But for a man like you, it's like, I can get married when I'm 50 if I want to. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I done did everything I wanted to do. I don't know if women have that same luxury.
They don't.
No, you're right. You're right. As far as not for me, but I'm just saying, as far as a man ages differently than a woman ages. You could be Michael Jordan could he's married. But I'm just saying, if Michael Jordan wasn't married, Bill Belichick is with somebody that's 22 years old.
It's fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Fucking
Bill
crazy.
Belichick, for the people who don't know, because I know just because I know football, he's the coach of who?
He used to coach the Patriots.
He's the Patriots. That's right. The coach of the Patriots.
He's 60. He's 60. How old is he? 67, something like that.
64, something like that. Yeah.
It's no disrespect, Bill Belichick. He's the greatest coach of all time, but he's a fat white guy. Like he's not special about him.
None to look at.
Physically, he's special as far as who he is, but as far as look, and
he has status, motion.
Girlfriend is like a fit 22-year-old. Like she's in shape, she's fit. What does a 22-year-old have anything in common with a 67-year-old?
Not a damn
other than
life insurance.
He's a successful man. The roles very rarely get reversed. Sometimes they get reversed, like Madonna, but most of the time, women age, and I hate to say it like this, but the value, the physical value goes down. Physical.
Yes, I would say that it's just, this is why I go back to what you want, right? You really got to play the game for the best way that it works for you. So I want to ask you guys this, because I don't want to lose this opportunity to have these two men on this conversation. What do you?
Yo, listen. So I want to get to the next segment of the show, but definitely I'm gonna have the link to this episode in the comments. So make sure y'all go down there and check it out. Earn your leisure. I love this they whole segment. I love the network, everything, because they always drop in like bomb ass information. Like I said, I learned investing from Ian. I can't wait to join his Red Panda. My man's it's 10 bands just to get in there. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got that to just drop on that right now. So definitely y'all want to go check that out. So for the next segment of the show, we about to get into had a situation. So this situation it's with it's a story time with some woman basically. All right, so I think she's like a mom of 3 or something like that. She saw a dude on the internet, basically like wanted my man's, reached out to him, flew out there to my man's, and basically my man spent her. So she basically telling the whole story in regards to that. I find it extremely funny. I mean, it's messed up on her behalf, but I mean, it is what it is, honestly. I'm not even gonna hold you up. So let's get into that. Let's see where we at with it. Bam, bam. Hold up. Where's my video at? Hold on. See why it's acting crazy. Babe, I'm on live. All right, hanging up.
I like it, like was cat. So yeah, I met him on the internet. I was in Bahamas like the beginning of January for my son. I'm sorry, the beginning of February for my son's birthday or whatever. And he DM'd me on Instagram like, need you. So I'm like, oh, I've been trying to get you me or whatever like that. So he like, whatever. We gonna exchange numbers or what? So I'm like, yeah, cause like, he's some fine shit. Like, I love dark skinned niggas. And when I say he's some fine shit, bitch, he's some fine shit. Or whatever like that. So on the internet, like, he got 2 watches, big Cardi, 6 cars, supposedly own his house.
See, listen, so just as we getting into this, right? Just listen to the conversation. Listen to actually explaining this story. She's explaining her side, and then she explaining like my man simply hit her with a need you. I'm not gonna dive into the whole. I'm not gonna dive into it and say like these women are effing crazy. I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. You know, because at the end of the day, like I say, people like what they like. So I'm not. I ain't gonna. I ain't gonna just go off into that. But the issue that I have is when you listening to the story. Dude came at her on some, yo, need you. Simple ass words in the inbox. And she like, I've been trying to give you me. Like, damn, you already ready to get a box up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's no work ethic. I ain't gotta work for nothing. Like, it's just nothing. Now, granted, people gonna smash, people gonna do what they gonna do. But it's like no type of conversation, no, it's that easy, huh? But then y'all wonder why y'all get spent, and then y'all be so upset, but then try to come to the internet and have people to be behind you and basically like I guess validate you or something like that. Yo, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Make sure y'all drop a comment, and we about to finish this. We about to finish this.
And he young as fuck or whatever. Like that. Dressed nice, always designer down, like always posting mad money, etc. So you know, like that's my type. I love me a hood, get money nigga. So he asked for my number or whatever like that. So I gave him my number and like he texted me. And I'm not gonna lie, like it was little signs that I didn't like. Like if you know I'm on vacation with my kids, like I remember I posted my drink or whatever and I didn't text him right back. And he was on my phone like, oh, you see me text you or whatever, but you posting. Like that right there was like you only have my number for like 20 minutes, like chill out. But I let him slide. So we planned.
Yeah, she let him slide because, as she said, you know, get money niggas, and he got 2 watches, cars, and that's why you let him slide, because you thought he had a shit ton of money. That's it.
To see each other or whatever like this, like whatever like that on this Saturday. That's it, this Saturday, right?
Hey, by the way, is it just me, like, is her face caked with makeup, or is this a filter?
And we planned for me to come Valentine's Day weekend or whatever. And he really was on some shit where like he was like, oh, come whatever, what day, what time, it don't even matter. Like whenever you could come, just come. So I chose that weekend because I'm free every other weekend for my kids. They go with their dad or whatever like that. So that was my free weekend.
Got a baby mama on her hands.
So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I thought he was a fake page at first or whatever like that because it just was like too good to be true. So we would only text and like he'd tell me to FaceTime him, but by the time I FaceTime him or whatever, he not answering. Now he got an excuse or he don't FaceTime back. So bitch, I started thinking like, bitch, I'm gonna get catfish if I go down here. So I told him, I'm like, look, this Wednesday, like the Wednesday before the Friday. So I'm like, FaceTime me before Friday or I'm not coming. So now he got all that energy. He FaceTime me, etc. I got him on the phone. Before you really couldn't, like he'd just be texting and shit like that. So he FaceTime me, he was real, looked the same, looked good as fuck. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready, etc. So
she ready to give up that box. She ready to throw that thing. Listen, she like, here, let me throw it at you. You gonna catch it?
Friday come and we talk and I'm like, you know, like you ready? Like I'm at the nail salon. I'm like, you ready? Like I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to meet you, etc. So he like, yeah, or whatever like that. But I feel like his energy was a little off because he was more excited days before. So I'm like, you good, love? Like you okay? Because I'm like, I feel like your energy is like kind of off. Like you're not excited as you was. So he's like, oh, I just found out I got to get my daughter or whatever today. Mind you, it's the day I leave. Like I'm leaving at 10 p.m. at night to land. I think my flight would land like 12:48 a.m. originally. So I'm like, yo, I took our work for this or whatever, and I already checked into the flight. And he's like, well, what's the issue? Nobody didn't tell you not to come. Like you can still come. I'm good. I'm gonna just get a sitter. If anything, her and the sitter just stay at my house, and we could just get a room. So I'm like, you know what? All right, that's cool. I'm all for that, or whatever the case may be. So I still.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you straight up, that's wild because I gotta get my child, but I'm gonna get a sitter just for you. Like that don't really make sense to me because if I got real emotion, sweetheart, you can come another time. Shit. I got my baby. That's what I'm about to be doing. I'm not about to go get no sitter just for you. Nah, I catch you on the flip side where I slap them cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Another time it ain't like it's oh, let me just do this one time. Like, come on now.
Still go, like I get my nails and I run to the mall, I get everything I need, I pack my shit, and I tell them like, all right, I'm for Atlanta this time. I go to the airport. Mind you, y'all, I'm rushing because I'm always fucking last minute. I get to the airport, I board the flight, or whatever like that. So before I boarded the flight, he
Y'all think she got on Spirit or what?
texted me this hotel, like Cigna or something like that. It's like one of the best hotels in Atlanta. So I tried to book the hotel online, but everything was booked up. So I told him, I'm like, look, everything booked up because it's Valentine's Day weekend. So he like, nah, you got to call. So I called and like everything was booked the fuck up. Like literally it was no hotel. So he like, well, find whatever you can find and just book it. And I'm going to get you from the airport. So I'm like, you know, what's your budget? So he like, what you mean? I'm like, what's your budget? Like I'll book the room. But when I land, I expect to get my money back. Or whatever like that. So I'm on the plane, y'all. The plane done took off. So the nigga like, oh, the least you could do is pay for the rooms.
The least you could do is pay for the room, shorty. You gonna pay for your flight to get all the way here. You gonna pay for the room to get here. When you get here, and I'm gonna come bust you down. You gonna slide me up, and then that's gonna be that.
So I'm like, huh? So this when a mishap coming, because I get it. Okay, we supposed to stay at your house originally, but then your child came into play. So now we got to go stay somewhere else, which is cool. Because I think a hotel is better anyway, because you don't know me and I don't know you. And it's more safer, I feel like. So he...
Babe, we can't even talk about being safe because you don't even know this dude and you already flew out to my man. So we can't even talk about safety right now. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, bro, these chicks, I swear to God. That's all I can say. They make it too easy. I'm not even gonna. They make it too easy. So it's like you talking about it's not safe. Like the fuck, you come into a whole nother city. Like fuck you talking about?
He like, yeah, like you can pay for the room. I'm gonna fund the rest of the trip. Baby, you a whole scammer. You think I'm paying for a motherfucking hotel for you to come fuck on me?
Yes.
So we all like, yo, I feel like you could pay for something. I'm funding the rest of the trip, or whatever the case may be. Yo, so we start arguing, or whatever like that. So then the plane land, and I'm like, you really arguing over a $300-something hotel, but you scamming, you hitting all these licks, all this big money you posting. I mean, like $20,000-$30,000. You can't book a $300 hotel, and I just felt like if you brought me to your city, you should make sure I'm good. Like if you came to my city and something happened, I'm going to correct it before you get there. I'm gonna figure this shit the fuck out. Cause I mean, why wouldn't I? Like it don't make sense. I didn't ask to come there. You wanted to come. Now I agree we wanted to see each other, but still, like, what? So when I landed, the nigga arguing, going all back and forth with shit. So I'm like, listen, cancel your sitter, stay home with your kid. Go ahead and bond. I'm cool. Like I ain't even link you no more, etc. Y'all, this nigga was like, oh, you must be coming to come see another nigga. Nigga, what? I took off from my job.
All right, let's fast forward,
because
bro.
Yo, he stayed, but like other than that, like
I never flew out. This part.
No, it's a Valentine's Day week, or I flew there.
First and first.
All right, so this is my man. This is my man's that's responding back to it. Now we not. It's a part 2. I found it on TikTok. I found it on everything. Let's just get into the video.
Foremost, I'm not a YN. You know what I'm saying? I'm 25 years old. You know, but check this out. I'm not from Atlanta at all. You feel me? I live in Atlanta now. I'm from Iraq. You feel me? But all this, like, okay, well, we gonna start off with the whole he flew me out type thing. You know, I never flew out. So this whole oh yeah, he flew me out and put me on Spirit Airlines. Shit is cap. You know what I'm saying? I never flew out. I never paid for no flight. Airlines. You feel me? None of that. You get what I'm saying? Now, I really don't know how to work it as far as in like if I can post the messages when I'm talking type shit. I don't know if I can do that shit on here, but I'm finna try it though. I ain't gonna lie, like you really done fucked up. Let me get in the hang of this shit for real. Cause now I got it figured out so I can go ahead and do these little, you get what I'm saying? So look, right? Now we just gonna piggyback off of the whole she said some shit like what for it is. Oh yeah, he got mad with me because I was out of town and texting my kids and all that, like whatever the fuck that's supposed to be about. Anywho, that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing at all. You get what I'm saying? Fast forward to these messages. You get what I'm saying? Now, look, now check this out. She say like, I supposed to pay for a hotel or we argued about a hotel or some shit about like some shit with some money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what really pissed me off. Like, that's what made me even get into this whole, you did anyway. You feel me? Now, That's my whole thing. Now, I done made it clear that I was getting my daughter Friday. You know what I'm saying? I let her know at 4 p.m. on Friday, like, okay, well, I'm getting my daughter and I'm gonna have her for the weekend, or the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Now, your flight don't leave until 11 o'clock, whatever the case may be. Your flight don't leave until 11 o'clock at night. Now, by your flight don't leave at 11 o'clock tonight, meaning like, okay, well, I ain't really trying to be mean to you, but like, I'm gonna give you all the signs for this. All right, well, I just told you my daughter coming. I done already let you know, like, beforehand, I'm not bringing nobody around my daughter. Like, it ain't none of that type of shit going on, especially no strange. Like, it ain't none of that going on. I got too much respect for myself. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, mama, and my daughter alone. People be having weird intentions and shit towards kids. Whatever. Now, so if I'm letting you know this already on some, like, you feel me? It ain't none of that going on. Then off rip, you feel me? You should have either not even got your ass on the flight for one, because your flight didn't leave until 11 o'clock later on that night. I told you at 4 o'clock. You try to tell me like, oh yeah, I already checked in my flight. Checking in your flight don't mean nothing at all. You know why? Because you still can cancel or like whatever. It don't matter. I don't, like, you know what I'm saying? I know for a fact you can cancel your flight, reservation, whatever, get a refund, whatever. So I let her know, like, you feel me? It's a possible chance that I can get a, you know what I'm saying? It's a possibility that I can get a babysitter. But like, that one never 100%, you feel me? Like, regardless of me getting a babysitter or not, right? I never, ever was staying at no hotel for one. Like,
he got his baby.
You a stranger, you get what I'm saying? I was not doing no shit like that. You a stranger. I don't even know you for real. And you too thirsty, like, you throwing me off for real.
Hey, and I can tell you as a man, bro, it's like, okay, so if dog is really posting the money and the cars and all like that, you got to, and especially he say he from Chirac, Chicago. So it's like when you kind of grow up in the hood, you already got a certain way of thinking. And it's like, if I'm meeting you for the first time, I don't know you, yeah, clap cheeks, yeah. But you might be trying to set a mofo up. Now, granted, anybody can say, well, why the hell would you go and all like that? Listen, some people gonna do certain stuff, they gonna risk certain things to get some cheeks. That's just what it is. But as far as like if he got his kid, his daughter with a sitter, a dude that's really about his business when it comes to his children, they ain't about to leave their kid at no damn sitter to spend the night. No, I'm gonna come, clap cheeks, holler at you for a second. I'm gonna dip back off if that, like just keeping it a buck, like for real.
You too thirsty, you know what I'm saying? Now, cool. Now, in the mix of all that, right? Okay, she get her. Now, she get her. She do on the plane like, oh yeah, she had to get her a room and shit like that, whatever the case may be. Because of the simple fact, I get to ask her shit like, okay, well, what you finna do as far as in like hotel wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna help you look for a hotel, like GT, you know what I'm saying? But like, you should be already under the impression, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you not to come for real, because of the simple fact, I gotta let you know I got my daughter. If a nigga telling you like, okay, well, he got his daughter and he not bringing you around his daughter, my daughter, this, you know what I'm saying? She gonna be here with me. So she gonna be here with me, then that means you can't be here at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't none of that going on. Cool. Long story short, whatever the case may be, she ended up paying for her own flight. You feel me? She ended up paying for her own hotel or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? She was mad or whatever the case may be. But my thing is, look, right now, she never not once said like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay for the hotel, but when I land, give me the money. What? The first thing I told her was, find something that you can afford. You feel me? Like, find something you can afford. Whatever in your budget. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this shit ain't about no $300 or no hotel or nothing like that. We never argued about no hotel because I made it clear, like clear as day. Like, okay, well, I'm not sleeping in no hotel. Why in the fuck would I sleep in a hotel? I mean, I got a house. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just worried about your well-being. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's already them at 1 o'clock in the morning when you land. You got to have somewhere to sleep at. I don't want you to sleep in the airport or no shit like that. You feel me? Cool. Now, she get all that shit done or whatever the case may be. She act like she got an attitude out of this world. She really was on some like selfish shit, like on some like, she thought I was going to put her before my daughter type shit. Like, oh yeah, well, we had plans and what the fuck ever. Like, I don't give a fuck who you is. Don't nobody come before my daughter. You feel me? Now, mind you, like, okay, so that was that whole Friday. Now look, I still text her on Saturday just to make sure like she was good, she was safe. Because at the end of the day, you're not from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? You're not from Atlanta at all. I'm not from Atlanta at all. But like, it was just cold that night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh yeah, are you okay? You know, on some like checking up on her type shit. You feel me? oh yeah, I have found a room. You know, none like everything was regular for real. Nah, the shit really went left for real. That Saturday when it came to the point what it is, she got to text me all like extra thirsty ass shit. Like you got breath mints and like numbing spray. You know what I'm saying? That shit new to me. You know what I'm saying? All right, okay. All right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Brush that off. And then you got to ask me shit like, oh yeah, have I ever gave my ass ate? My behind ate? I don't know if TikTok gonna like.
Whoa, what? Bro, that's wild. If Shorty really asked my man's that if he ever got his butt ate, like what? Listen, the story that on how she tried to portray it and tell it is completely different. Cause look, my man's even got the message. My man's got the messages right here that's saying everything. Like you clearly see, like Shorty was talking all that shit at first time about some, you know, oh, I really wanted to meet, but I guess we not. And then she like, no, better yet, I do want to meet. Yeah, she definitely seemed thirsty as hell.
Blood like blurred out or some shit because of that. Oh, hold on, what the fuck? This lady's throwing me off now.
Bro, what?
You throwing me off. You throwing me all the way off. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm just like, nah, hell no. She won't be seeing me at all. You get what I'm saying? I'm not finna link up with you. I'm not finna have sex with you. It ain't none of that going on. Like, you know, I'm cool on it. I'm straight on it. Now, mind y'all, it would never ever be a storyline. It wouldn't be a story time. It wouldn't be none of that. You know why? If I pulled up to see her at that hotel, had I had sex with her, any of that shit, you get what I'm saying? If any of that shit would have went her way as far as in like sexual intercourse, she would have never made a story time. You get what I'm saying? Now, mind you, like she was scamming me on some like, hold on, what the fuck? Don't be saying no shit like that to be like, you know, you scam me for real on some shit. Like, you know, like, hold on. You been a little bit too thirsty, you feel me? Now, my whole thing is, on top of you being a little bit too thirsty, right? I mean, on top of her being a little too thirsty, right? I'm just like, all right, okay, whatever. You feel me? Like, now mind y'all, rewind. We was texting this shit for like, probably like a week and a half. I want to say we probably was texting for like a week and a half for real. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I ain't never been on the phone at all. Like, never been on the phone. No, we get on FaceTime for the first time. You feel me? It was like a 3-minute call or some shit like that. But when I first get on the phone, I got my face in the camera. She got her face in the camera. But she got on like these clear glasses. Now, when I say stop playing, put your face in the camera, you know? I don't know if that like rubbed to the wrong way, but I'm just in my head like this not the same person that I was just looking at on Instagram. You feel me? So now, like, I'm not saying she ugly. I'm not taking that from her at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying like she not the like what she looked at like on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So it caught me off guard type shit.
Filters.
So now I'm really just trying to like rush her off the phone for real. But like I'm giving her a cold shoulder to the point where what it is like damn.
Basically, in a nutshell, dog ain't want to rock with her. That's basically what he's saying, dog. Like, let's just keep it a buck. We can finish that right now. That's basically what he's saying. She basically came and created a whole story and everything, thinking that everybody was gonna side with her, but it clearly didn't work at all. Like seriously, and which is ridiculous. Hey, so we got one more. We got one more before we end the night. I know y'all been sitting here rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying, trying to put on the best show for y'all. So we got this last one. Make sure y'all like for the algorithm. Make sure y'all share for your peoples. And make sure if it's past your first time being here, make sure you subscribe. Because we gonna keep it rocking.
So y'all, please help me understand this. My lights got turned off. So I called my baby's father and asked him if he could get my lights turned on for me. He said no, because I have a husband and that's his responsibility. How is that his responsibility to pay my lights to get turned back on after they get turned off? That you have kids that stay here. You don't care about your kids? I understand that I have a husband, granted, don't beat me up over it, but we fell on hard times.
First off, I ain't gonna lie, man. Off rip, she disgusts me. Because like just literally like first off, that's disrespectful to your husband for one, because you going to your baby daddy asking him for money. 2, that clearly shows the type of dude that your baby daddy is, because he's not out here going to go get it and hustle. And then 3, is he okay with you even asking another man for their resources? You might as well be giving a box up to your baby daddy still, if you want to keep it a buck. And then you trying to use your kids as leverage to, oh, you don't care about your kids and having lights. It's like, well, you got a whole nother man over there. Why he not doing what he's supposed to do? I understand falling on hard times, but it's like, okay, give your kids to the children's father. Give them over, and then y'all suffer by yourselves.
So as my baby's father, I feel like you're supposed to pick up the slack. So you rather for
Ugh.
your kids be in the dark than to help your baby mother get her lights turned back on? What if I didn't have a husband? Would you have helped me then? These men is crazy.
You would have been over there on them knees getting that light bill money. That's what you would have been doing.
Sir, help me get my lights turned on. Don't worry about my husband. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a man. As my baby daddy, you should be helping me.
What? The level of entitlement, bro? What are you talking about, dog? What the hell is wrong with these women? He should just help you simply because what? Because y'all got kids together? I mean, granted, he's supposed to be contributing when it comes to his children. But bro, you got a whole man over there. What are we talking about? Why do you want another man to, and he's not a boyfriend, you said your husband. Why would your husband even be okay with another man paying for bills in his house? That clearly means that your man ain't shit. I ain't gonna hold you up. That's exactly what that means. Your man is not him. Your man is the lame. You might as well still be giving that box over to your baby daddy. That's what you should be doing. Matter of fact, go over there, tell your baby daddy, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, put these knee pads on, you know what I'm saying, work so you can give me the money for that light bill. And then when you go home with a little bit of stuff on the side of your face, tell your husband, don't worry about it. You went and got the money for the light bill because you had to pay a reconnection fee. You had to pay a deposit to get it turned back on. You had to do all of that to get them lights back on. And remember, be like, I did it for my babies, so don't worry about it. You doing what you supposed to do as a man. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman, and I went and got the money because clearly that's what's going on over there. You effing crazy. Talking about some don't worry about my husband. How the hell you gonna tell another man not to worry about your husband, but you want that man money and resources inside of your house with your husband? What are you talking about, dog? Like these people really be like effing retarded. I'm gonna be 100, like for real. Talking about some don't worry about him, and then gonna say some these men crazy. No, you effing crazy. Make sure y'all like, subscribe for the channel. Make sure you share and make sure you comment. And we'll catch y'all next Friday. Remember, every Friday we here at 10 p.m. If you want to drop a comment, hey, and if you want to send anything in that you want me to review, definitely send it in. I'll definitely review it, and then we can keep the commentary rocking. So until next time, I'll catch y'all next Friday, 10 p.m. Peace.